Hey everybody, I'm Monty, and I want to thank you for investing in the Shareholders podcast. I have a great guest for you guys. I got a lot of questions for this guest because what she does, I have no concept of. So I'm excited for that. Her name is Bre Khounphinith.
That's right.
Right? Bre, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great. God is good. Can't complain.
Yes.
So guys, Bre is the basic term people call, MUAs or makeup artists or things like that. And so I've been wanting to I've had a person that I've had a hair person on, and now I want a makeup person because, first of all, if anybody knows, this is a huge field. It's a lot of people that work in this field. Pandemic or no pandemic, folks, people still had to work and find ways to get made up even for different kind of situations. So she is out there, and I saw her on Instagram, and I said, let me take a shot. And she's, I actually saw her, which we'll get into. She was working on here in Las Vegas, one of the players on our women's WNBA team, and that's where I made a connection there. And so she was great enough to come on. So Bre, let me ask you just from the jump then.
Yes.
How did you get into being a makeup artist? How did this even start?
So first of all, I was a hairstylist. I was a cosmetologist.
Okay.
And then I started a social media page, an Instagram page. I would post pictures of my own personal makeup. I wasn't doing makeup on anyone else at the time, just pictures of myself. And people were like, oh, I love your makeup. Can you do my makeup? I'm like, this was 10 years ago. No, I'm not a makeup artist. I don't do makeup. I'm a hairstylist. So many people started to reach out that it made me want to basically start doing it. So I would pull friends, family, whoever, and started to practice on them, and then I would post their photos. And from there, it just literally took off via social media. About a year or two in, I got my first big break from Prince. He had an artist, he was starting off, she was his background singer. He found her on YouTube, and she was coming to have her first Billboard appearance here in Las Vegas. And I did her makeup, and then from there, it literally took off. And that was it. That was all she wrote from there.
So when did you know, I love to ask professionals this, when did you know you was like good? Not just working on my cousin and all that, but you could be honest. Like, when did you realize like, hey, I'm actually pretty good at this thing?
Honestly, to be honest with you, I'm still at that point where it's crazy to say, but I don't think that I'm all of that. But I know that I'm good, but I don't think that I'm all of that. But I'm going to tell you, when Anita Baker reached out for me to be her makeup artist for her Las Vegas residency, that's at the point to where I was like, oh, girl, you're pretty good. Because she hadn't had a makeup artist in 25 years. She hadn't booked a makeup artist in 25 years. She had only done her own makeup. So for her to see my work and want me to do her makeup, like, this is a legend, my dad's favorite artist of all time. And so once I got that, I was like, oh, well, you might be all right, girl. You might be doing pretty good.
Hey, yeah, Nita come through. Shout out Detroit. All right, we feel you out down all that. Okay, so there you go. Now, okay, now I have no concept of this. I still don't really know what concealer, foundation, I don't know. But
well, I'm glad that you don't. That's
as you can see, this I'm all natural today, y'all.
Right.
But now here's what I do know. Is growing up and I remember even an old Cosby Show episode. I know this for young girls, it's a big deal to be able to wear makeup. I know that's a big kind of rite of passage, if you will. And, some folks, some ages, too young for that. I've heard that. I got a sister, I got girl cousins and all this. So as a professional, what do you feel is the appropriate age, number one, for a young girl to really start wearing makeup?
So I'm gonna say, because I'm knocking on 40's door. So when I was growing up, it wasn't a big deal for us to wear makeup. You get what I'm saying? You might throw on some lip gloss with a liner, and that was it. There was no foundation, there was no concealer, there was no eyeshadow, there was no eyelashes. There wasn't any of that. But now we live in this era of social media where these young girls see everyone else made up and they want to look like a particular person. I'm old school. So still for me at 14 and 15, you shouldn't be wearing makeup. That's just me. That's my opinion. I think around maybe junior, senior year in high school, you could do a little something, but I don't think you should be walking around with a cake face. Like I said, that's just my opinion.
Y'all hear that?
That is my opinion. And I feel like even with my style of makeup now, I still like to choose a more natural style of makeup. I don't like to cake a whole lot of makeup on my clients, whether young or old. So, like I said, I probably would give you 16, 17. If you can make it to 18, that would be great. But I'm just not a big fan of seeing young girls in a lot of makeup.
Yeah. And again, I'm old. I'm already over 40. So I agree with you. You know, Big Mama wasn't having that back in the day.
Right.
That, you know, that's me. Okay, so now I do want to ask this because I want to transition because this is still, you know, we do talk a lot of business on this podcast. From doing hair, and you were already a professional in that, and then with makeup and kind of even ascending to that, did you find you had to kind of now like, okay, not just my skill, but how do I manage this in terms of monetary, and I got a business now, and was that a tough transition for you? Now you're doing high profile people. Was that a hard transition?
That was a very, very, very tough transition because I didn't know any other makeup artists, especially that had navigated through the industry so fast. Like I didn't know anyone like that. So I didn't really have anyone to reach out to and ask questions to. So I bumped my head a few times. I didn't know how to have someone make me up a contract and to have these artists or their managers fill out these contracts, which was very, very important because I got burned by a lot of big time artists in the beginning because of that. I didn't have contracts. I didn't have a business lawyer. So I didn't have anything to cover me at the time. So I did bump my head a few times, but they ended up doing an article on me in Sister to Sister magazine. And at the time, Kim Lee, who was a huge celebrity makeup artist, Angela Bassett, the late great Cicely Tyson, she called me over the phone to do an interview, sort of like what we're doing now. And she dropped so many gems on that call. We weren't only supposed to be on that call probably 20 minutes. We were on there for about 2 hours. Because she was giving me the business part of being a makeup artist, which I had no clue of. And I had already been in the industry a few years. So now when I teach my one-on-one classes, I do a whole hour on the business behind being a makeup artist because it's so important. I had to learn the hard way. So if I can help someone else, then that's what I'm going to do. Because like I said, I bumped my head. I was so underpaid in the beginning. I just didn't know anything. I just jumped right in it without looking at the business aspect of it.
And so you kind of already leading me to my next thing. And I love anybody that I've talked to, they talk about mentorship and having someone teach you. You know, I tell people all the time, you can have a gift to do something, but it's the other stuff that encompasses that. Like you said,
exactly.
You were being underpaid and you were, not knowing the contract side. And so as good as you are, you're going to need somebody to help you. So you kind of hit it. I was going to ask, have you had some business mentors and some people to help you out? But you kind of already.
I did. And I also a woman by the name of Yvonne McNair, she was a part of Prince's camp as well, management. She has really helped me navigate through this industry. She helps me, like I said, in the beginning with that, but she has stayed with me all the way through. And I've been with BET since 2013, and she has been the one to help me navigate through that, the business side of it. So she has really, 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 really been a big mentor for me. She's not a makeup artist or in the beauty industry, but she knows the industry, as a whole, because I work with a lot of artists and I do a lot of award shows, and she is behind the scenes on that. So, and she's been in the industry for years. So she's really, really helped me and been a mentor to me throughout my career for the past now 8 years.
That's amazing. And it's always good to hear that, because I always want to stress, I think sometimes people are willing to do what they can do, but not all the time willing to learn, You know what I
That's
mean?
right. And there's people who aren't always willing to help. You know, there's not, there's not always. So that's why I said when I do my classes now, or when young ladies reach out to me that are aspiring makeup artists, I always try to put the business part at the forefront. Because if not, you're going to be lost. You will be lost, and you will be, like I said, underpaid or not paid at all. So
So okay, let me ask you then. Okay, because again, Lord, no, I don't know nothing. But what do you tell a young makeup artist or an aspiring makeup artist? Or I should ask you this: what is something you see a mistake or something where I see you doing this, but you probably want to do that? You know, is there something that is kind of common that you kind of try to first for the young ones that is coming up that maybe want to do what you do?
So with social media now, some people mix personal with business. And I see that a lot with the younger girls. I see them in their Insta stories, they're acting a fool, cussing, you know what I mean? And it's okay, because sometimes I show myself having a good time too, but I know where to draw the line. You get what I'm saying? And I feel like with a lot of these young girls, being a makeup artist has become a trend now because of Instagram and social media. It's just become a trend. So sometimes a lot of the times, let me say, they don't know where to draw the line between the personal and the business when it comes to social media. And if you want those high profile clients, you have to watch yourself. You have to present yourself in a certain way. You have to always be professional no matter what, because this is your business. So that's something that I noticed with the aspiring and upcoming makeup artists.
Okay, so all right, guys, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come right back with Bre, because I still got some questions, and I gotta ask some things about my goddaughter, and I know she's gonna be embarrassed that I'm bringing it up, but I'm gonna do it anyway. So we'll be right back on the Shareholders podcast. We're gonna take a quick break.
Customers know that all their homely needs will be properly handled when working with Julie Palmer. Not only is Julie Palmer an excellent realtor, but she is well known for having a gained notoriety for advertising properties, broad preparation, and a grand knowledge of information on the nearby market. Julie is the basic asset for showcasing extravagant properties. Her relationship with Just Vegas Land has given her accessible contributions throughout the incredible nearby and worldwide assets, and she has a set-up record for watchfulness and security when addressing esteemed customers. Why wouldn't you choose Julie Palmer when looking for the perfect home? So please, you can contact her at juliepalmerrealtor@gmail.com, or you can check out her website at lasvegaslife.style, or you can check her out on Instagram at las_vegas_life_style. You certainly will not be disappointed.
Guys, I'm back with Bre. She is a world-class makeup artist, and we're getting some world-class answers to my questions, because y'all know your boy, I'm totally in the dark. But let me ask you this then. What are some of the skills every makeup artist should have? I know people have different styles and different ways they like to do them, but what's kind of the meat and potatoes if you're supposed to be a good MUA, if you will?
The meat and potatoes should be skin, knowing how to prep the skin for the makeup application, because that is going to give you that flawless look at the end. What I noticed with a lot of makeup artists now, like I said, because it's becoming a trend, we are not caring for the skin. They are not caring for the skin. They are not prepping the skin. They're just slapping the makeup on and not preparing the skin. The skin needs to be primed. The skin needs to be toned. The skin needs to be moisturized, hydrated. You know, you want to do those things to prepare the skin so that you don't have to cake the makeup on. If you prepare the skin right, you don't have to use that much foundation. You don't have to use that much concealer. You don't have to overdo it. You don't have to put that much powder on. So to me, the meat and potatoes is the prep and the prime of the skin. And that is a skill every makeup artist should have.
Man, I see. I didn't even think about that. That is awesome to know. And I wonder, you know, so I have a friend that is a esthetician, and talked about just the skin and all that. You know me, I'm a dude. I slap some soap on this and I'm out the door. But
right. And then y'all skin always look good just with a little slap of soap. Like you said, we have to go through 50 steps of skincare.
Right. So I want to ask, of course, a relevant question that I've asked just about everybody in the last year. With the pandemic and with COVID, I actually saw something that how they said that during the pandemic, high heel sales went way down just because women weren't going a lot of places. Now, how did the pandemic affect you in your business and your interactions?
So, believe it or not, the pandemic actually helped me to be more innovative. Actually, I had no choice being a makeup artist. Yeah. You know, right after it was basically announced that we were in this pandemic, barbers, hairstylists, makeup artists, estheticians, all of us were shut down. Mm-hmm. What was crazy is a few weeks prior to that, I had did makeup for the Oscars. And I had made me a wig. I made this cute little bob wig, and everywhere I went, people were like, oh, that's a great looking wig. A picture of me even went viral on social media of me in this wig that I made. People were asking me if I could make this wig, and I was like, no, I'm too busy with makeup. So the pandemic hit, and ding, I said, oh my gosh, I'm gonna start doing these wigs because I can't work right now. So I'm gonna start doing these wigs, and I called it the Bre Bob. And since women weren't able to get their hair done at the time, these wigs were easy to pop on and put on, and it became a huge success. I stopped doing makeup the whole entire 2020, and I just produced these wigs, and these wigs actually made me more money than I had ever made doing makeup.
Wow.
So I made more money during the pandemic than I had any year previously. Wow. Which was crazy. So I just flipped it. I went back to what I know as a hairstylist. I made these wigs, and it ended up becoming a huge success. I recently just announced about a week, not even a week ago, a few days ago, that I wouldn't be able to do the wigs anymore because I'm back to doing makeup full time now. And so I wouldn't be able to, I mean, everyone was mad and upset with me. And I'm like, well, I can't do both. And makeup is where it's at for me. But during the pandemic, that was everything for me. People supported it so much because everyone still wanted to look good, even though they were in the house and they couldn't go and see their hairstylist. So it just worked out for me.
Wow. Okay. See, hold on. I got to take a detour real quick because that, I tell people all the time, real hustlers, they're going to find a way. They're going to
right.
And that is so amazing that you literally took, you know, another talent that you had, reutilize it, repackaged it, and let it prosper for you. And I kind of refer to people sometimes. I remember the story of The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, the actor. Mm-hmm. He said when he was younger, his whole life was football. I'm gonna play football. But at some point, he said, you know what? Maybe I should pivot real quick. It just, you know what I'm saying? Look at this wrestling thing. And he, you know, it wasn't what he set out to do per se, but it ended up being lucrative for him in a way. And you know, the rest of
and that's what you have to do at times. I stopped doing hair in 2016 because makeup was taking over, and that's where it was for me. And I was doing them both for a long time, but then in 2016, I was like, look, God is telling me this is where I need to be because this is where I'm getting, you know, all my clientele. This is where I'm making the most money. So I'm going over to be a makeup artist. Then when the pandemic hit, I went back to being a hairstylist and making those wigs. So
what's your real love then? Is it the hair or is it the makeup? What's your real?
Makeup, hands down.
Okay, all right.
It's the makeup.
Nice. So now you kind of already hit and said some things. You work, y'all. First of all, I was telling a friend because I wanted to get some good questions. And they said, well, who are you interviewing? I said, you're like, oh my God, I love her. I said, okay, I didn't know. And so you work with some really big time people. And I want to ask them, what is it in the, you know, I'm in a lot of the music field and I've talked with guys that produce for music and you sit down with the artists. What do you want to know that? Do you sit down like when you did Liz Cambridge, do you sit down with your client? Like, what do you want to go with? Or do they kind of trust you? Just do it for me and make me look good.
The blessing in it is probably about 95% of the time, they trust me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
About 95% of the time. Liz, for example, she'll give me an idea of something that she wants, but she'll always say, do your thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, might tell me, well, I want to use some blue, but do your thing. She won't tell me exactly how, but she'll tell me the colors that she wants me to incorporate. And that's kind of how me and her have great energy. So we just kind of flow together and it just works out. But like I said, 95% of the time, or they'll show me what they're wearing, especially if it's an award show, because prior to the pandemic, I did a lot. I'm known for doing award show, red carpet looks. So they would just basically show me what they're wearing and say, this is what I'm wearing, do your thing.
Wow. Okay. And honestly, they should, because that's why they're hiring you. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But sometimes I'm going to be honest with you, Monty. Sometimes I want to tell me what you want. Yeah. Because sometimes I don't want to give you the same look I may have gave her. You know what I mean? Or, You know what I mean? So sometimes I do want their feedback, but then at other times it's like, okay, I got this. Let me see what you're wearing. Okay, I got this. And then the creative juices just get to going. So,
well, let me ask you this, because something that cracks me up about women on the other side, what the other profession you do is like, they will have the picture of the hairstyle. Girl, let me do this. And then they get the hairstyle and be like, I don't know if I like it. And I'll be like, but you know, so does that happen with makeup too, where?
It does, but I'm very honest. I'm a Leo, so I'm very honest. I'm very blunt. And so if they give me a picture of someone, I let them know, you guys don't have the same facial shape. You don't have the same eye shape. You don't have, so it might not look exactly how it looks on this picture. And you have to be honest with people in the beginning. Even when I was doing hair, they give me a picture of Beyonce with this blonde and flipped out hair. And it's like, that's Beyonce. You get what I'm saying? Like, you don't, so you're not necessarily, I can give you, you know, your own look, but I can't give you exactly what Beyonce may have or whoever you're showing me a picture of. So I'm always honest in the beginning when they show me a picture, like your nose is not the same, your eyes is not the same, your facial shape is not the same. We have to be honest. And then, you know, they don't have that expectation of looking just like that photo.
Yeah, that's which is smart to do. So,
right.
Okay, man, I've been enjoying this. I just got a couple more questions.
No, go right ahead.
Now, I want to get into something, like you said, with social media. Okay, I'll put it like this. My first experience with makeup, I was in the 11th grade, and we were taking a class trip, and we were going, you know, for like 4 days. But even the bus ride was like 12 hours. So I remember that I'll never forget this. We got on the bus. But we were so late, we all went to sleep on the bus, you know, because 11-hour ride. I remember when I woke up, the girls in my class, who I knew, you know, it wasn't that big a school, so it was a small school. I remember when I woke up and it was daylight, we still on the bus, and I looked at these girls, and I was like, yo, not all of them, but the makeup, you know, the real, the glamour girls. I told my man, I said, yo, you see, what happened? Like, what? And all the guys is just like, yo, who is on this bus? So one of my friends was a girl. It's like, will you relax? She just took her makeup off. I said, oh, okay. I didn't know that because, you know. And so on social media now you see where you kind of talk about being caked on a lot of it, where a person can look almost totally different now with the makeup. And it seems like, and again, I want to stress with the young people, I see like a lot of young girls, that's all they want to look like. And I wonder if there's kind of a, I don't want to say negative connotation, but where it's like their identity is only in the makeup and not who they really are underneath the makeup. Do you see that, or are you kind of worried about that with so much of this social media presence now?
I am very worried about that. You know, I spoke about that earlier with the young girls. Yeah. This social media era, it can be so great and so productive, but it can be troubling for young girls because they see the Kylie Jenners or whoever is on there, and they want to look just like them. So they're going to go and get all that makeup and cake all that makeup on. It's to the point now to where when they come into me to get their makeup done, they're ashamed, like for me to see them without makeup. Wow. And it's like, baby, this is what I do. I see people without makeup all the time. So I always try to let these women know, or these young girls know, how beautiful they are without the makeup. You know, when they're barefaced, I tell them, oh my gosh, your eyes are beautiful, or you have perfect lips, or because I see that, I really see that in them. I see those beautiful features before I even put the makeup on. And so my thing I always say is, I'm not trying to make you look like someone else. I'm just enhancing the beauty that's already there. That's all I'm doing. I'm not trying to make you look like anyone else. But with social media, I do believe that it is. I saw a 14-year-old girl on social media and I could have swore she was 28. Just from the makeup, the hair, the clothes. Like at 14, I was a skinny girl, like no hair, no makeup, you know, just plain. And now it's just, it's totally different. But do I think social media is to blame for that? I definitely do. I do.
Listen, my goddaughter is 17. She's a senior in high school. And she took her little senior pictures. And they showed me the pictures. Now this my, I don't have no children of my own yet. This my baby. And when I looked at the pictures, and she looked like a 28-year-old flight attendant from Atlanta with a boyfriend named Sonny, I said, who is this? No, this is how they do. I said, baby, whoa now. What happened? Even the makeup now is just like, I'm blown away. Like
it is.
It can really be, but I love that you said that you affirm them even because,
and it doesn't matter the age. I affirm, I don't care if you're 80 or you're 12. I'm gonna let you know how beautiful you are without all the makeup, you know? And that's just like me. Do I wear makeup? Of course, I'm a makeup artist. Do I wear it every day? No, I do not. When I do wear it, it is very natural. Like now, I don't have on no eyeliner, no eyeshadow, any of that. I like to have my lashes on, yeah, but I don't like to I like to still keep it natural. So that if you run into me in the grocery store one day without any makeup, you'll still know, hey, that's Bre, you know?
Right. That's the truth. So let me ask you then, ultimately, everything we've talked about, I mean, you're very successful in what you do.
Thank you.
Living the dream. What's the next goal for you? What's the next vision of success? Like, where else do you want to go with this?
So the next vision of success for me is to open up a makeup bar in all the major cities eventually, where people can come and get their makeup done and maybe have a cocktail. And, I want it to be, of course, high-end, luxe, so that's what I would like to do in the future. Right now, I'm going to be honest, I'm just riding the wave. I'm always doing something aside of makeup anyway. So like now I'm going to start a boutique. I just had the bobs. I've had eyelashes. I've had lipstick lines. So I always like to step outside of makeup artistry as a whole and do other things. But my ultimate goal is to have a makeup bar. That's the ultimate goal.
I like that. No, real quick. So what does it mean when, J-Lo has a makeup line, or Rihanna, or Kylie? Like, is that just explain what is that to me? Because I know a lot of girls like, oh, you don't know I don't know what that means. What does that mean when they do
So what that means is basically, let me just say this. The same company that I went through to do my lipstick line was associated with Kylie's lipstick line.
Okay.
So sometimes the only difference is the name on the package, the person behind it.
Okay. Wait.
Basically.
You remember the movie Boomerang with Eddie Murphy? Did you ever see Boomerang?
Yeah, that's one of my favorite movies.
It's like Lady Eloise. You just the Lady Eloise on the boxes. Okay, that's got it.
Yeah, that's it.
Young folks, y'all know nothing about that. I know y'all know nothing about that, but she knows.
Yeah, I love me some Boomerang.
Yeah, old Marcus, darling. Okay, so my last question, which I love to ask all, is there any books that you've read? Anything, just doesn't have to pertain to makeup, but anything that you've read that you love to pass along?
I've never read any books containing makeup, to be honest. I just finished reading I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Seth. Really good. I like a lot of self-help books.
Yes.
And then Connected to Goodness, which is by David Meltzer. So just basically books, self-help books about, I'm big on energy. So, and manifestation and things in that nature. So I like to read a lot of self-help books and a lot of books that just keep me grounded as well. But I like to read books about wealth and savings and investing in the right things and in businesses and things like that. So
awesome. Oh, man, I appreciate it. Guys, this has been such a great interview. This is the Shareholders Podcast. I want to thank Bre for coming on. And
I want to thank you. Thank you so much.
And please, just for those who don't know you, let them know your plugs, where they can find you, all that, please.
Okay, I am only on Instagram. I'm boring. It's just at BeautyByBre. Bre is spelled B-R-E. I'm in Las Vegas, but I'm also a traveling makeup artist. I'm located in Las Vegas on the Strip. I have a studio at Look Style Society.
Awesome, guys. I mean, seems like a lot of people already know you that listen to me. They're already kind of familiar, but if you're not, check her out. I want to thank you. This was so great, and I loved your energy.
Thank you, Monty. I loved your energy, and you had, like I said, amazing questions. So thank you so much. I was flattered when you reached out. Thank you.
Yes, looking forward to great things for you to come. And guys, to check us out, of course, Shareholders Podcast on the Mighty Sharp Network. I love these interviews. I love to learn stuff that I didn't know. So now I know a little bit more. Y'all ain't got to laugh at me now with the makeup thing, or else I'm going to ask Bre a question if I don't know something else. So
right.
Stay with us. Have a blessed day. I appreciate the time.
You too.
All right.
Thank you. Take care, Monty. Thank you.